Today, we are going to be evaluating fighters harshly on whether they are overrated, slightly overrated, properly rated, slightly underrated, or fully underrated. We have some of the most exciting fighters right now in the UFC. This is 2024. We're not going off, how good they are in 2020 right now.
The keyboard warriors are going to be back again, back-to-back videos, just going to be typing off on us in the comments.
This is one of the videos that I'm looking forward to the most, honestly.
It's going to get good because we get to give our wholehearted opinions on all of your favorite fighters.
And you can already see who's first up in the list. Dylan specifically requested me to put Jon Jones on the very first person as our list.
Because I want to start it off on the right note.
All right, what are we saying?
Overrated.
Fully overrated?
Overrated. Overrated. You just beat up a 42-year-old firefighter, Jon Jones. That doesn't even come close to the worst thing that you did. And if someone else did that, they'd look like an evil man.
So you're saying he's not even slightly overrated?
I think that he was slightly overrated until I saw that he was number 2 on the pound-for-pound list.
Ooh, that's fair. I think that beating a 42-year-old Stipe doesn't put you above Alex Pereira, who's beat the top contenders in his division in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And Adesanya. Stipe is not even close to the top 15 pound-for-pound fighters. So why would a win over him get you a higher spot on the pound-for-pound list?
Get you anything. You beat up a guy that was 42 and you did not look that good. Everyone has been talking about how good Jon Jones looked, and I'm not buying a stock. I'm not buying it. Whoever he faces next, if it's Pereira, if it's Aspinall, I'm putting it all in on whoever he's fighting.
Dylan's getting back into sports betting just to bet against Jon Jones. You heard it here first.
That's another month down the road too.
Okay,
a year. That fight ain't happening for a year.
But realistically, I want to do this video as accurately as possible. I don't think he's completely overrated because he is literally the GOAT. But the only recent
you're not talking about 2020.
I know. But the only recent win he has is a win over Stipe.
Yeah, and people think he's legit again. All of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, Jon Jones didn't look like he lost a step." All over TikTok. That is everything I'm seeing. Everyone in sports media, they're like, "Oh, Jon Jones didn't miss a step."
Dude, the casuals are pissing me off. The sports reporters who cover only like the biggest UFC events, like Stephen A. Smith. Oh man, I have things to say. But yeah, they just glaze him. So yeah, you know what? Fine. We'll go overrated. But maybe as more people go in, the bottom of overrated because he is still good. All right. The world beater himself, Ankalaev, the man who's 100% guaranteed to beat Alex Pereira. That's what Twitter would have you believe.
Jon Jones is getting a buddy up and overrated.
Nah, really? He's slightly overrated.
People think that he's the nightmare matchup for Jon Jones. People are coming in thinking that he's going to destroy Pereira, the only man that can beat Pereira. He's like a nightmare matchup. But what did he do? I know I said this in another video, but tell me one thing that Ankalaev did against Rakic that made you think, oh yeah, this guy's for sure going to beat Pereira.
Well, there wasn't anything specific that he did against Rakic. It was kind of like the Bo Nickel performance against Paul Craig. He 30-27'd him. He didn't take any damage. He did what he had to do, but there wasn't any oomph to get the fight finished, if that makes sense. So before that, he beat Johnny Walker by KO, I think round 2. So that was a good win, but it's Johnny Walker. It's not the most high-level opponent. And then he went to that draw with Jan Blachowicz. He beat Thiago Santos, which was closer than I remembered. So I'm happy to put him in slightly overrated, but his record does show that he's a good fighter and he's still very active right now, beating pretty much who he has to beat. So I'm not going to put him in completely
Just wait
overrated.
until the people that start going into a slightly overrated and you're like, oh.
All right, yeah, we can always change it around. Next up, we got the squash himself, Fraud SD.
But is anyone still considering him any good anymore?
That's actually a good point.
I think after what people have seen in his last 2 fights with Moicano and Poirier, people are like, oh, this guy's not good.
But the media still has him ranked at number 12. So they clearly think he's still good. Move this man down, please. He doesn't deserve it anymore.
That is true.
I think slightly overrated.
Okay, we can go slightly overrated below Ankalaev.
Yes, definitely.
Oh. Send him to the moon. Overrated.
So pretty much this list is just everyone's overrated. Is that what
No,
we're
I
saying?
see some underrated fighters on this list.
Okay, all right, fine.
But I just don't know. Overrated. I don't. What do you see from Buckley that impresses you?
Dude, he did KO Wonderboy. It's only the second time Wonderboy's ever been KO'd.
Yeah, but Wonderboy's old now. Like it's not doesn't hit the same.
I know it's not the same, but still, you have to put respect on it.
Okay.
Round 3, but he was losing that fight.
Tell me anyone inside of the top 8. What is Buckley 9? Tell me anyone above him that he beats outside of Colby.
But I don't think people are saying that Buckley's going to be the next champion. I don't see that narrative. I only see Bedtime MMA, who's high on Joaquin Buckley, which I think is the stupidest thing ever. He's not that good.
Okay, put him above Ank.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, another one. DJ Khaled.
No, I genuinely think he might be properly rated.
No, not after that stupid spinning back fist.
No,
14
I genuinely
on the
think,
media.
I genuinely think he's
14 on the
properly
pound for
rated.
pound. 14 on the pound for pound. Sorry.
Pound for pound, Charbonnet.
Guys, I'm coming off 4 hours of sleep. 14 on the middleweight rankings. In what world did he deserve to get ranked after beating the 40th ranked middleweight?
All right, fine. I was just trolling you.
Okay, good.
I wasn't.
we put him into properly aired. We were like, oh yeah, you know what, Chara's not that bad. You know, we might like Chara. No, and then the media went boom, over.
Yeah, he's definitely being overrated from that double bullet KO. Oh, Michael Chandler. See at the top.
Iron Mike. 2 Iron Mikes lost last weekend.
Conor McGregor, if you ever get your house in order, come fight me. All right. What are we saying?
He's either properly rated or slightly underrated.
I think he's properly rated because let's be real, he doesn't have a good UFC record. He beat Dan Hooker in his debut, which is really good. Other than that, he hasn't looked that great.
He's 2-4.
Exactly. And I think that he's had to go against the highest level of competition. So you can't say that he's overrated because low-key, he's almost finished your Poirier. He's almost finished Charles twice. Dude, that 5th round of UFC 309, sweating bullets.
Don't even talk about it. I couldn't help myself. Like
the back of the headshots too, man.
Oh, and I'm glad that everyone noticed it, not just us. Like that was stupid.
Yeah.
Like
could have given him like brain damage. Like what's going on?
If they would have done that to Charles, we would have taken that person. We would have found you, Iron Mike.
He also could have been a champion in an alternate reality where the ref stops that fight against Oliveira in the first one because that was for the belt.
That was.
Which is like mad to think
realistically, like I think 50% of the refs stopped that fight there.
Herb Dean, slide deco. Actually, no, Herb Dean lets him die, honestly.
Dude, Herb must have been having a hard day on Saturday because he let some fights go long.
Yeah, it was weird. All right, I think that's fair. Dricus du Plessis.
Underrated.
Slightly or fully?
I just don't know how many people are. I don't know. I think he's pretty underrated.
He is very underrated. I just don't know, like, how much is he talked about? I don't think he gets talked about that much. I'm happy to
Which means that he's underrated.
Yeah, I'm happy to go fully underrated on him.
Yeah.
He has the best wins, like top 3 wins in the last year.
Yeah.
Of 2024.
100%. Leon Walkie was.
What are we saying?
He's somewhere on the top.
He is somewhere on this list, that is for sure.
I think Leon, how much do people rate him highly still?
I know, that's the thing. I think actually a lot of people have woken up to the fact that I think properly rated, it's between these two, I think, for me. Because I think there's a lot of Leon hate, and he's not the worst. He's not the worst fighter ever.
I think above Iron Mike.
Above Iron Mike. That's tough. That's a really controversial pick. I think everyone's expecting him to go somewhere up here because we hate on him. But
then everyone hates on him.
That's the thing, though.
So which makes him
properly rated.
Yeah.
Boom. Steve Ershig, brother. This guy's so overrated. Bro.
No, I can't.
This guy fluked a close fight in Pantoja and then got KO'd by KKF. Wait, what? What am I? Wait, what? That was close. Kai Car France. Is he more fraudulent than BSD? Is he more overrated? I think he is because more people like understand BSD is a fraud now.
Yeah.
Steve Ershig's still ranked like number 9, I think. I think
that's good there for Steve.
Okay. Ian, the Cuck Machado Gary.
I like slightly underrated.
I do like that.
I think that he's overrated. I think that Ian Gary's a little bit overhated.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe a lot of bit overrated. Fuck. Maybe a lot of bit overhated, which means that he tends to be underrated in terms of how good he is. He is 15-0. with
Yeah.
8 finishes in his career, 7 wins by knockout, 1 by submission.
I think he had a couple fights that really hurt him. Like, obviously, there's his whole personal life, which is a completely different story. Without taking that into account, he had that Jeff Neal fight, which really hurt his stock because he went to a split decision with him. But he didn't take any damage. You look how much damage Shavkat took in a Jeff Neal fight.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, he did it clean. It was closer. He didn't get a finish. And I do think he does eventually lose to Shavkat when they fight. But I think that fight's probably going to be a bit closer than people think because Ian Gary's just good at his range.
Yeah.
He's just a rangy fighter, you know?
I think that's a fair shout.
Yeah, so I'd go slightly underrated. Ilya Taporia. There's two sides of the fence. You either hate him or you're a complete glazer of him.
I think currently he's properly rated, but all time he might be underrated.
Yeah, I think right now he's properly rated. People understand he is second best well-rounded fighter in the UFC after
But
Makhachev.
but I'd say he's at the bottom of properly rated because
okay.
the higher you get is the closer you are to overrated.
Okay. Jamal Hill.
Underrated.
He is.
He's an Ian Gary case where he had so much hate that he's underrated.
But is he slightly underrated or is he fully like full-gone underrated?
I think I underrate him every video when I hate on him.
Yeah. But you have to.
How much of that's serious, you know? Like,
Well, he did it to himself. He sabotaged his career.
I think behind Ian Gary. Sorry, yeah.
Behind Dricus or Ian Gary?
Behind Dricus. We'll go underrated for Jamal Hill. He deserves it.
Hamzat Shemaev.
Slightly underrated still.
It's crazy that he is still slightly underrated. He got first round sub of Robert Whitaker, and people still think he's not going to be the
People aren't
champ.
convinced.
Yeah, 100%. He might actually he's more underrated than Ian Gary,
like that.
For sure. What are his chances of what are his chances of getting the belt? And then I have a follow-up question.
90%.
90% against Dricus. I think that fight's going to be maybe a bit closer than people think.
But Shemaev's taking it home.
I know, I do think so. But
Especially because it'll happen in Abu Dhabi.
people have underrated Dricus. No, Dana said that, well, this isn't 100% going to happen, but Dana said he wants Hamzat to fight for the title in the U.S. in 2025.
But he can't.
Apparently he can. That's what Dana's saying now. I don't know. It's weird. I do think he's, slightly underrated for sure. My follow-up question is how many title defenses do you think he potentially has in his locker? Or does he go up a division?
I think he defends that belt until he retires or gets sick or is stripped of it. Like I realistically don't see any middleweights right now who could beat him.
I think he retires early. That's my hot take.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, Diego Lopez.
Properly rated. I'd say right by Ilya.
Yeah, I do think that's fair because he had a great win over Brian Ortega, but people are like saying that he's going to save us from Ilya Taporia, which I think is a bit.
And I think you have people on both sides, like what you were saying there, is like people will overrate him and people will underrate him, so he kind of just ends up properly rated.
Yeah, it evens out. I don't like the narrative that Diego Lopez is going to be Ilya Taporia. So I think in that sense, people overrate him. But then he's also had like one of the best years for any MMA fighter right now in having so many wins and taking everything short notice. Like he's a dog. He's like willing to do anything. So I think that's fair. Islam Makhachev. What are we saying?
Ooh, I think he also goes improperly rated. Like I think people know he's good, and I don't think he's quite like overrated enough to go into slightly overrated. I do think he leans overrated more than underrated.
I think so as well. I'd put him here.
Yeah,
like he's close to being. There is a lot of people. The Dagestanis have a very hardcore fan base, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
You know, Western fighters have a hardcore fan base too. But Dagestani fan base really love to push their fighters and say, you know, they use we. We kill him. We beat him before he walks in the octagon, dude. He don't know you, little bro. All right, moving on to
Merab Dvalishvili. Ooh.
Dude, he's slightly underrated. I think he is.
I don't think so.
People still hate him even winning. I mean, look, fair. The hate's valid. I'm going to say the hate's valid for Merab. I get where you guys are coming from. But at the same time, he has like one of the best bantamweight resumes and he hasn't even defended his belt yet. So I think he's slightly underrated.
Okay, fine.
I think people are also completely discrediting him in that fight against Umar.
I am.
Yeah, I know you are.
I just want the belt off. I think people just want the belt off of him is the biggest thing.
Do you think he's above Ian Gary?
No.
No.
No, I don't think he's that underrated.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. Wait, why do people want the belt off him?
Because he sucks. He's boring. He has no personality.
He has personality. I'll give him that. He has personality.
Yeah, but it's forced. It's forced. It's not natural personality. It's forced and
Right.
fake.
Yeah. I went back last night and watched all of McGregor's fights. Dude, that dude has so much aura. He has so much aura. It's stupid. I wish he still fought. I wish he was still the same. Like, imagine if he had like a Max Holloway career where he just got better and better and better.
And he just got worse and worse and worse.
Sucks, dude. All right, we got Renato Moicano. Yeah, I say it like that. I'm cool. All right. What's slightly underrated?
Properly rated. I
Okay.
think.
Really?
Yeah. I'm high on Moicano, but I'm not high on Moicano. I'm not, he's going to win a belt.
No, he's not going to win a belt, but I think he actually has a solid chance at beating high-level competition. Like, there's a very real chance he could beat a Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think, like, at the bottom of slightly
Okay.
underrated.
I'm okay with that.
We got Brandon Moreno.
I think this is another guy that gets to go into slightly underrated.
He might even be fully underrated. People do not talk about Brandon Moreno at all.
And how he looked really good. Yeah, he can go behind Jamal Hill.
Okay, I think that's fair. He dominated Mir Albazi. He didn't lose a single round. Was there a 10-8 round in there as well? I think there was.
There may have been on one judge's scorecard.
There definitely could have been. I also think flyweight just doesn't get any talk at all.
Flyweight tax.
Literally. People don't like to believe it. But the thing that you came up with is real. Flyweight tax was not a thing before you said it.
Put it on a shirt.
Larone! I want to meet his mom.
I think Lerone Murphy might be slightly overrated.
100%. I think he's at the bottom of slightly
Yeah.
overrated because he still doesn't have like that much hype. But I think like Dan Ige is the last win that he can get fighting up in the rankings.
Interesting.
Who else is there?
Yeah, with Lerone, I think the only guys he could like realistically beat would be like, I mean, Calvin Cater's ahead of him. That's a fight you could probably win.
Yeah.
But the rest are pretty tough fights. Like I think a fight against Josh Emmett's a really tough fight for him.
Yeah, and he probably gets
Arnold Allen's a tough fight.
definitely Arnold Allen's underrated for sure. I think also someone coming up in the rankings like Gene Silva would dominate him. They would never make that fight because they're killing two of their prospects or one of their prospects, whoever loses. But yeah, Gene Silva dominates this man. Bo Nickel.
Or what he's currently known as Boverated.
Wow.
Have you not seen that?
No.
Boverated.
I thought you came up with that one. You
No.
could have just lied.
No, I did not come up with Boverated.
No, Bo is overrated. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
you were high on him, and now you've come to the realization that this dude needs at least 2 years to
He is
develop his
so
striking.
raw.
Yeah.
So raw.
Yeah.
People hate our looks at each other when either of us ever make a comment like that. But
What do you want us
it's
to
our
do?
thing.
Yeah.
It's our thing. Yeah, put him ahead of Chara.
Yeah, he's that MSG performance. Like I said it in the review, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but I want to get your thoughts on this. It's the fact that they put him on the main card. He's the featured fight on an MSG pay-per-view. He's not ranked. He's going against Paul Craig. I don't like if he was on the prelims, even if he was the featured prelim, I would not be mad at that performance. I'd say, you know what? He's getting the win. He dominated 30-27. He didn't look great, but at least, people aren't paying for that.
Yeah.
People paid for that.
Yeah, I think that's a fair show, and I think that the UFC universe is a little bit tainted and tarnished in terms of their opinions on Bo Nickel, and I bet you we see him on the prelims of his next, if he fights on a pay-per-view. I think Dana's going to save him for pay-per-views. He'll be on the prelims.
Yeah, I would hope so. Also, he got mad at the commentary. This was just recently on the Ariel Helwani show. He got mad at the commentary for saying that he wouldn't beat Hamza Chimaev.
He is so delusional. Hamza murks him.
Yeah, I know. Hamza submits you in one round, bro. It's not close, dude. Cody Brundage could defend your takedowns, okay? You didn't shoot against Paul Craig, all right? Hamza Chimaev is submitting Paul Craig in one round.
It's in a minute.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, Alexander Pantoja.
Might be the most underrated fighter in the whole UFC.
Full on underrated.
Like, one of the only few champions who has multiple title defenses,
Yeah.
In an era where no one gets defenses and has decently long reigns, Pantoja has the longest.
He might have the longest reign. Or other than... How long has Jones been champion?
Oh.
That's a weird... discounting
Islam.
Jones. Islam, he's had 2 defenses... Or 3 defenses. Because he had Volk defense twice and then Dustin defense. So he's had 3 defenses. I think Islam's at the top right now along with
I
Alex
think
Pereira.
Pantoja also has 3.
Pantoja's about to have his third with Kaya
Oh,
Sakura.
okay. Yeah,
which is a free title defense.
Yeah.
If Kaya Sakura wins, that might be one of the biggest upsets.
Oh,
Those Ryzen champs,
they're not good.
they ain't that, bro. All right, yeah, he's fully underrated. The pound for pound list has him at like what, number 10 or like 13?
Yeah,
Between there. Criminal, bro.
They have him at 10 now because they moved him ahead of Max Holloway.
Okay, good. All right, we got Mick Parkin, someone who just recently got moved into the heavyweight rankings. Britisher has asked us to put him in a tier list for a long time, so I'm honoring the requests of Britisher. He is...
No opinion.
I think he's properly rated. I think the fact that he got moved up into the rankings shows that at least the media properly rates him because he didn't beat anyone in the rankings to get there. So the fact that they're moving him up shows that he has a lot of potential, and I think he can move up. You know, we filmed a video. I don't know if it's going to be out already. We filmed a video about hot takes. Because I had a couple more than you, I deleted one. One of my deleted ones was about Mick Parkin, and it was that he could beat most of the top 5 heavyweights right now.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that he's probably properly rated.
Yeah.
But also like at the bottom.
Yeah, we'll put him there.
Because no one knows about him really yet. Only the UK audience knows about him. He's the
And
bully.
Britisher.
Sergey Pavlovich. Little Pavlovi.
I think he's also properly rated because I think he's getting a lot of hate, and I don't think that he's actually that bad.
No, he's not actually that bad. I'd say he's like on the far end of being
Yeah.
underrated as well.
Yeah, like we'll put him right there for properly rated.
He could still easily chin a Curtis Blades.
Oh, 100%.
But then Curtis Blades could also take him down. So it's a interesting situation. I am excited to see him fight again, though.
Oh, yeah.
He said he had fight news coming, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, we got probably the most hyped champion right now, the person with the biggest fan base who doesn't even talk, Shama.
Properly rated.
I do think he's properly rated. I think he might even be slightly overrated just because of his title defenses.
Yeah, I think you could put him in between Islam and Chandler. I think that that's a good spot for him.
I'd say he's close to being...
Okay.
Yeah, because he doesn't have as many Glazers as, you know, as much as a strong fan base as Islam has. He also has a lot of haters, which I think
That is true.
even it out.
does.
Alex Pereira also has a few haters, but I think the majority of the UFC fans love him. What is this guy still doing here? Move him up. Am I crazy?
Yeah. No, I think that's fair.
Okay. Carlos Perates.
Underrated. People don't understand how good this guy is.
Yeah. KOing Neil Magny and the leech like that. I think that's impressive. I do think
He does get enough hype, more hype than he did get after his KO win over Neil Magny. So slightly underrated. I like that spot.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Banging off the last few. Sanhagen, overrated.
Yeah.
Put him.
Is he fully or is he above?
He's above Bo Nickel.
Whoa, really?
He's not that good. You said it yourself. He doesn't beat any of the top 5 bantamweights.
I know. Also, is there a theme here?
Yeah.
3 gingers?
And what do you get when you rearrange the letters of ginger?
You guys are not going to understand. There's probably like a big cut that just happened because Dylan said a lot of crazy stuff. Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's low-key overrated.
No.
Not even low-key. He's just overrated.
No.
Yes, he is, dude.
It's deserved.
Who's his best win? Steven Wonderboy.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Put him at the end of that. I'll give you that.
Look, I know that he has 18 wins, 18 finishes. It's a stat we love to say.
Turn wins, 18 finishes.
It's getting cringe saying that, honestly.
Yeah.
He needs to get another win.
It's gonna be the new like pound for pound #1 John Jones, greatest fighter of all time.
100%. Yeah, his best win's Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and then he has Jeff Neal, Neil Magny, which we've seen be beaten. I just don't think it's like... Yeah, people are saying he's like unbeatable at welterweight. I think he's beatable at welterweight. Potentially, but only time will
Are
tell.
you sure about that, pal?
This is your boy, Song Yadong.
Slightly underrated.
Cousins with Wang Kong.
Slightly underrated.
Yeah, I would say so. Still super young. He
Like
had
the boxing's unreal.
Oh, unreal.
Just needs more time.
And he had a close round with Peter Yan. Won that first round probably. What are we saying? At the end?
Maybe ahead of Marab.
Yeah, I don't think he gets talked about at all.
Yeah, when he should.
Yeah. Okay, we got Funk Master. This dude is like one of the most underrated fighters.
Former champion. I think in between the champions down there. Right there.
Yeah, the fact that people are counting him out against Movistar is crazy to me. Movistar does have a little bit of plot armor because he is, a wrestler from that certain region that we don't speak of.
The Russian region.
The Russian region. I don't know. I don't even know if he's Dagestani, but I know he's Russian. So yeah, I think he has a solid chance at getting a featherweight title shot.
And our last guy on the list, another Dagestani fighter, Umar Nurmagomedov, properly rated, I would say.
He might be slightly overrated as well.
Yeah, I think just overhyped, which then correlates to overrated.
One ranked win. And he's getting a title shot. And people are saying the next Khabib. Obviously, that's obvious comparison.
Leave him there. He's not going into overrated.
Dude, he is, though.
No.
If this was my list, I'd put him in overrated, guys. Just so you know.
Shavkat would be underrated because 18 wins, 18 finishes.
Shut up, bro. Pound for pound number one, Shavkat Rakhmonov. That's going to be your new thing. All right, guys, that is our final list. Take a good look at it. Get a gander. What would you change? Let us know in the comments.
You can't change anything.
Yeah, this is a pretty good list. I'm going to be honest.
And it's balanced. It's got good proportions once again. We've really been focusing on our proportions of our tier list.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
See ya.